As I was saying, you may have some L-shaped carcass shelves, and if you just tick this off, if they're all drawn, let's just say there's L shape and they all appear the same way, you're not allowing any of them to turn around. It might nest badly, there could be a couple of spaces in them. So what I do when I'm nesting carcass, if there's L-shaped stuff, is I'll actually turn this to 180 degrees. So it'll at least give the nesting engine the option to turn them around fully. Still have the grain the right way, but it might mean you might get a slightly better nest. I'll just change that back to 90 just for this. Mirror parts, I would stay away from that if you're doing kitchen parts, because the stuff is drawn maybe left and right. If you allow it to mirror, it could change them around and then your parts could be backwards. You don't need that. Allow parts inside, don't use that. Now, nest two-sided parts. Now, if I go back to the start here and I say double-sided, I'll just change that there now, go back into nesting. Now I have the option nest two-sided parts. So if I was two-sided and I had drawings on both sides, if I had a back to this big one that was the same size as that, if I tick nest two-sided parts, it will nest the front of the sheet, and on the other side of the sheet it'll also nest it onto it as well. So the front will match the back. You can see them on both sides. I'll show that in action a bit more later. Number of copies, no. Active sheet, 0, no. Okay, so these are selected. I have my settings in there now. I'm just going to hit preview, and there they are nested. Right? I'll just show an example of not rotated. As you can see, it nests them a little bit differently. So there's two things to try when you're nesting just to get sheet efficiency. There's a long X and a long Y, right? So the way this works, so it's set to a long Y. Y is in the up direction. So what it'll do, if it's set to a long Y, is it'll start at the bottom of Y and it'll start filling in parts until it gets to the top. And then when they don't fit anymore, it'll go on to the next sheet and it'll add them in. If I go along X, it will start on X and it will work its way across until the sheet's full. You just have to play around with these as to which nests better. So we have the length left over. That might be of use maybe for toe kicks or whatever. Or you might want to use this side again. So if you're going to reuse the sheet for doors again later on and you're doing two-sided machining, you need the width just so you can flip it over. So this is kind of subjective to your own needs. Sometimes we do it on X, sometimes we do it on Y, maybe thinking ahead for what's coming next, So yeah, I'm just going to press cancel there. I'm actually just going to copy and paste them. I will nest them again. So now, yeah, so we have an overspill onto the next sheet, right? So I'm going to also just show you two-sided nesting in action. What you have to do is you have to copy to the other side. So look, there's the back, it's matching the front, right? So on the other side, this square is in the same position, matching it exactly, right? So if I go nesting again, and I have nest two-sided parts ticked, it will link the front drawing with the back drawing if they're perfectly over one another. And I press preview, so there that is there. That's on the front. If I go to the back, see it's perfectly mirrored. Yep, so I think that's quite brief but good introduction to drawing. I'd urge anyone that is using the package now or has the package now to go in there and just play around with a few things, maybe copy some of the stuff I've done there just to get a feel for the nesting and whatever else. And yeah, and use that help file. That's great. It's a very useful file.